Hello everyone. Today we are going to make English Muffin Pizza, and we're going to make it healthy by putting some veggie toppings on it. And this recipe is so good. It's a great snack or a meal or even a breakfast. So it is very versatile, and I think it tastes way better than making a frozen pizza. Okay, so first thing, I already washed my hands and sang happy birthday 2 times, so I am ready to get started. Now, on my recipe, which you'll be able to get off of Google Classroom, the first step is preheat the oven to 375 degrees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk over to the oven and show you how to preheat the oven. Whenever you're gonna bake something in the oven, it's very important that you preheat it first, because an oven is not like a microwave. A microwave, you put the food in, you push the buttons, you push start, it starts cooking right away. Ovens don't work that way. It takes a while for the oven to get hot inside. So to preheat it, what you're gonna do is every oven is different, so you're gonna have to look at the buttons on your oven. Sometimes you might have a knob right in the middle that has the temperature on it. This one's digital, so what I do is I put bake, because I'm baking in the oven, bake, and then I need to put it up to the temperature that I want. So I want to have it at 375, so I push bake, and then up to 375, and then bake again. And then it will start going up to 375. All right, and then I'm gonna let that preheat while I make the pizzas. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. Okay, so step 2 is split the English muffins and lay on a baking sheet. So for these English muffin pizzas, we're obviously using English muffins. And the cool thing about this recipe is you can use any kind of bread to make these pizzas. If you don't have English muffins in your house, no problem. You can use hamburger buns. You can use hot dog buns. You can use bagels, make pizza bagels, those are good. You can use whatever kind, you can just use plain bread. If that's all you have, just put slices of bread on there. The English muffins are really good because they get nice and crispy, but other types of bread work really well too. Now when we make it at home, sometimes if we like to use a big loaf, long loaf of French bread, and cut that in half and make 2 long French bread pizzas, that's really good. But today we're gonna be using the English muffins. So right now I am splitting them down the middle. Okay, breaking them apart. And you can see 4 of them gives you 8 halves. And they fit nicely on your baking sheet. This is called a baking sheet, and we use this to put this in the oven, okay? Sometimes they have sides like this, sometimes they don't. When they have sides, they're technically called a jelly roll pan, but most people just call it a baking sheet, or a cookie sheet, some people call it. Okay, so now we're on step 3. Spread 1 tablespoon of sauce on each English muffin. Now, if I look at the top, I need 1/2 cup of pizza sauce. Okay, so I have pizza sauce in a jar. You can buy this at the grocery store. Sometimes it comes in a jar, sometimes it comes in a can, okay? If you don't have this at home, you can use spaghetti sauce. It might not have as much pizza seasoning in it, but it'll work okay. So I'm gonna get 1/2 cup to start with. I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring cup that I can scoop out of. Build it up to the top, and I'm gonna get a tablespoon of sauce and spread out on each of the English muffins. So I'm using my tablespoon. I'm scooping out a tablespoon of sauce and then using the back of the tablespoon to spread it out over the English muffin. Okay, got 2 more to go here. and I think I'll just pour the rest on there and spread it out. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I am on step 4. Sprinkle on the cheese. Make sure no cheese is touching the pan. So I look up to the top. I need 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. So I have 1 cup dry measuring cup, 1 bag of cheese. And when you measure shredded cheese, you want to pack it down into the measuring cup. Put it in, pack it down. Now, if you don't have mozzarella cheese at your house, you can experiment and try different kinds of cheeses. Mozzarella cheese is the traditional cheese that goes on pizza. It's an Italian cheese, but if you don't have it, you can substitute any kind of cheese that you have. So you want to have it so that it's filled up to the top and you've been packing it down to get that good 1 cup of cheese. Okay, now I'm going to sprinkle the cheese onto each English muffin. Now, in the recipe it says make sure no cheese is touching the pan. That's because wherever cheese, like right there, is touching the pan, it will melt and burn to the pan. And it'll be really hard to wash off. So it's best if you can pick up all the cheese that fell onto the pan before you put it in the oven. Now you can see I'm not putting a big mound of cheese on each one because as these cook, the cheese melts and actually kind of fills in the whole English muffin. Put it like that. And if I have some extra, I might add some to the ones that look like they need a little bit more. Okay. Now at home, what I like to do too, if I'm making these for my family, is I like to also do a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese on top. You know, Parmesan cheese, that's also an Italian cheese. And Parmesan cheese is also sometimes on pizza. Parmesan cheese is the sprinkle cheese that you have that you put on spaghetti. So a lot of people might have this in your refrigerator already. So if you have some, it does add a nice flavor. Just after you get all the mozzarella on, if you'd like to try it, go back and do a sprinkle of Parmesan on each one. That is delish. Okay, so you can see 1 cup of mozzarella cheese is just about perfect. Now I want to look real carefully and make sure there's no cheese touching the pan. Okay, it looks good. All right, so now I am on step 5, add veggie and fruit toppings. This is to make a healthy pizza. Now, if you're making this at home, of course, you can put whatever toppings on you like. My favorite is pepperoni, mushroom, onion. And I also like sausage, but pepperoni and sausage is not that healthy for us. The veggie toppings are the best when you're trying to make a healthy snack or a healthy meal. I also like to put, I know this sounds kind of silly, but I bet some of you like this, pineapple on my pizza. Pineapple on your pizza and ham and onion, so good. A lot of times they call that Hawaiian pizza if you order it at a restaurant. Another great thing about making these little pizzas is this is a great time to try toppings that you don't know if you like or not. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've got my veggies over here. Some of them I've already pre-cut. Okay. Oh, and I also have a can of black olives. Some people like olives on their pizza. Again, if you're not sure if you like olives on your pizza, this is a great time to try things because you don't have to put them on every pizza. Like if you order olives from a pizza restaurant and then you don't like them, you're kind of stuck with the whole pizza with olives on it. But this is a good time to experiment. Okay, so I've got my carrot here. Carrot on pizza is actually really good. I've already peeled it and washed it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make some more peels with it. I'm gonna show you in a minute why I'm doing this. So I'm gonna use my carrot peeler. This has already been peeled, so the outside layer is already in the trash. I'm just gonna make some peels here. I'll show you why in a minute, it's kind of fun. Okay, so now I've got some carrot peels to put on my pizza. Okay, I've already cut up, diced some green pepper, and I've got my sliced black olives. Now I'm gonna show you how to slice a red bell pepper. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is cut a circle carefully using a paring knife around the top of the stem. So I'm going around in a circle, very carefully, slowly, cutting around in a circle, and then I'm going to grab that stem, kind of shake it back and forth, and I'm able to pull that whole core out. Okay. I'm going to take it over to the garbage can, and you can see there's some kind of membranes inside. I'm going to reach in and tear those off and put them in the trash. Okay, I'm just going to shake out the seeds. And then I have already washed the outside of the red pepper, but I'm just gonna rinse out the inside real quick. Get all the seeds out. Okay, and now I am ready to cut this up. All right, so you can see it looks like this. So the inside is gone, the stem is gone. And the first thing I'm gonna do is very carefully, I'm gonna remember, whenever I'm cutting, I'm gonna keep my fingers curved away from the knife blade, and I'm gonna do it slowly and carefully. I'm gonna cut this in half. Okay, I'm gonna set this one off to the side. Now, when I'm making these pizzas, I like to cut a few slices, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, and then I also like to do some dicing. Dicing is where you cut it in little pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna dice these up. So I've got my strips. I could just go ahead and eat these. A great thing about making these mini pizzas, if you're making them at home, is you can snack on the veggies while you're making the pizzas, or while they're baking, you can snack on the veggies. All right, I'm keeping my fingers curved and away from the blade, and I'm just dicing up some of this red bell pepper. Okay, dice this one. I really like to put onion on my pizza, and a lot of kids are like, ooh, I don't like onion. Well, if you haven't had on pizza yet, you don't really know, because onion on pizza just gives it a nice flavor. You don't really taste the onion. So that onion would be a great thing to add to your pizza. I like mushrooms too. Okay, so now I've got my toppings. I've got red bell pepper, green bell pepper, and some carrot strips, and my black olives. I could also have onions, mushrooms, pineapple. All of those would be great toppings on my pizza. Okay, now when you make this in class, each student is gonna get 2 pizzas. So you'll get to put the toppings on that you want on your 2 pizzas. Everyone will make their own 2. If you're making this at home, you can experiment and make different ones. Okay, so I'm gonna make a pizza with olives on it. And some green pepper. That looks pretty. It's pretty when you have a pizza with different colors on it, I think. Make sure you keep that cheese off the pan, okay? I'm gonna make this one with red bell peppers and some green bell peppers. Okay, how about this one will be olives. Well, just olives on that one, okay? And then I'm gonna show you something fun that I like to do. I like to, sometimes if I'm having little kids over, or when my kids were small, we would make funny faces on the pizza. So it's cool. This is why I have the red bell pepper. I left it in a strip. I'm gonna bend it into a mouth. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna use my sliced black olives for eyes. You see that? And I'm gonna put a little carrot hair on there. And then maybe a little red nose, or a green nose. Okay. Can you see that good? Is it the right way? Yeah, okay, talking to my cameraman here. Okay, and then the rest, I'm gonna keep decorating, maybe. Another thing you can do is just do fun things, like you can make, even like my name, my first name is Christy, so I could make a K with with some slices of red pepper. There we go. And put some red pepper on this one, and some carrot. Okay. So you can, this is the fun part. Actually, my daughter Caitlin, when she was little, would have slumber parties. And she still actually does this when she has friends over sometimes. And they would all get to make their own pizzas. And it would be a good thing to eat, and it was a fun activity. So this is fun to do with your friends too, because everybody can make their own pizzas however they want them. Okay, all right, so I think I'm done with that step. So now I am on step 6, bake for 8 to 10 minutes until cheese is melted. Okay, so I'm gonna carefully carry this over to my oven. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the oven, and I'm gonna be using a hot pad. This is really important because I have to be very careful not to touch any part of the inside of the oven. So when I open the door, this inside of the door is very hot, very, very hot. If I touch anywhere inside or inside here, basically it will just burn my skin, okay? So what I'm gonna do is whenever I put something in or out of the oven, I need to stand to the side. I'm gonna open the door all the way because you don't want it to slam shut on you. Carefully open all the way. And I'm going to use my hot pad, hold my baking sheet like this, and I'm going to carefully set it on the shelf in the middle of the oven. Be very careful, you don't touch this part here, and then shut the door. Okay? Then I'm going to set the timer for, it says 8 to 10 minutes. Whenever you set the timer, you want to set it for the lowest possible time, because then you're just going to give it a check to see how it's doing. You don't want to set it for the highest time because it could burn by then. So it said bake 8 to 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push timer up to 8 minutes, and then timer again to start. Whoop. And with this one, you just push timer and then 8 minutes, then let it go. Okay? Now, when it gets to 8 minutes, it's going to beep. What I'm going to do is just do a quick peek. I don't want to open the door and spend 5 minutes having all my friends come over and look at my pizza, because when I open the door wide like that, it lets all the heat out. So what you want to do is open the door a little bit, take a peek, see if the cheese is melted. If it is, they're done, and then you're going to take them out. If it's not, try to cook it for another minute and then peek again. All right, now let's pretend that these pizzas are done. It's already been 8 minutes. I took a peek, the cheese was melted, they're done. What I'm gonna do to take them out, this is also a very tricky time. I like to use 2 hot pads to take them out, 1 for each hand. What you're gonna do is, again, stand to the side, open the door all the way. You're gonna put a hot pad in each hand. And again, you're gonna pull out that shelf a little bit. Carefully use your hot pad to grab the hot pan, and then you don't want to put it on the counter because it'll melt the counter. You can put it on top of your stove or on top of a hot pad or a trivet. Close this, and then close my oven door. Easy peasy. Okay? Now, over here, I've got one pizza that I already baked ahead of time to show you. Okay, so this one I didn't have any toppings on because I was just making it quickly to have it ready to show you, but you can see the cheese is melted. The English muffin is nice and crispy. I'm gonna give it a taste. Oh my gosh, it's really good. And the English muffin has that like crispy outside, but soft and chewy inside. It makes a great pizza crust. Now, when you go to the store to buy your English muffins, there's a choice. Usually they have the white English muffins or the whole wheat English muffins. The whole wheat English muffins are actually more healthy for you. So if you are going for the healthiest way to make these, you're gonna wanna choose the whole wheat English muffins. The white English muffins taste more like your regular pizza that you get from a pizza restaurant. So it's kind of up to you what you wanna buy. But I'll tell you, they are excellent. So I hope that you tried to make these at home and then let me know how they turned out.